Okay, so I'm going to talk about AI in research and development for creativity, for innovation. And this is work with Ben Wolfson from NYU, Daphna Shahar from Hebrew U, and Pim here from NYU. You can say hi. So she's even a pre-doc. Can you believe? A pre-doc, not even yet in the PhD program. And I'll share with you soon. A little bit. So AI for creativity and innovation. We've been talking about AI a lot, and we know that it's great, as people said here, in automating clear tasks that have a clear outcome. What about creativity and innovation? So my talk today is more of a call to everyone here in the room and online to join and start studying, I think, AI for creative tasks. And I would say that it's interesting because creative tasks pose an interesting challenge for predictive technology, right? If we just do predictive based on the past, it's not going to be creative. And using AI for creativity raises deep question again about the future of work and humanity. So the first time that I met kind of AI for creativity, I asked, why are we doing it? Like, isn't that the last thing we want to have as humans, to be creative? But that question was relevant 5-7 years ago. It's not relevant anymore. They're doing it. Like, the field is doing it. That's a fact. So now it's a question of thinking about, okay, how does it shape us? How can we maybe be more creative? What does creativity actually mean? What are we doing when we are creative, etc.? So the broader question that I've been trying to explore is, what is the future of innovation processes? I would say that's the underlying question that I'm really interested in. How is innovation and the innovation process going to look differently in the future? I have one paper that I've written with this wonderful group of HCI and computer scientists, computational creativity, if you heard about this interesting community, about how we can scale up analogical innovation with crowds and AI. That's in PNAS, where we kind of say, we don't need to think about kind of either or, we need to think about how each of these different agents, actors, entities in the process can bring something to the innovation process. So there we kind of lay out more or less some of the theory, and then I'll share with you the work. So what is happening today in the field? Lots of experimentation. Remember, I said we are in 2022, it's a specific period of time. From kind of a technology perspective, we call it era of ferment, right? People are trying out these technologies. They're throwing it in everything. Anyone here is on the waiting list of DALL-E, OpenAI? Okay. You're already in. You're like one of the luckiest. Me too, since like 3 days ago. Anyone else? You too, Frank? Okay, Nick. Anyone else? Okay, so DALL-E, crazy. Everything on Twitter, if you see what people create, is amazing, right? So I warmly recommend, if you're not on the waiting list, go on the waiting list. I think it's just 1 million people, but you can get in. So it's amazing to see what people develop. One area that has been very clear that people are using it and companies are using it is pharma and chemicals. Beyond that, a lot of interesting new uses that we're seeing, but a lot of experimentation, not yet necessarily designs that we see out there being sold, right? But a lot of experimentation and a lot of digital experimentation. How is AI already shaping our creativity and innovation? So as we know, and this is kind of the sentence that took us to this workshop, is the future is already here, just not evenly distributed, said by William Gibson. And I'll tell you what I've started doing recently. So I'm going to share with you 3 projects, all early, very, very early work, nothing yet finished or done or even close to it. So I would claim that Google search is already shaping the way, and its AI is already shaping the way we are doing creative tasks. And if we think about it, it's used for everything today, right? We know that it's supposed to be used just for information search, right? No one told us ever this will help you be creative, but this has become our daily tool for anything and everything. And when you look at how product designers or engineers or anyone that does their creative work on a daily basis, they use Google search, right? But we know also that Google search creates filter bubble. And because of personalization and other things and the way it's designed for relevance. It's not designed for diversity or divergent thinking. It's the opposite. And we know now more and more around politics and other contexts what it does to us and how it polarizes us and how it makes us actually think in a more narrow way, right? So what does it mean for creativity? And the title of the new kind of paper that I'm working on with Ben is, would Archimedes have shouted Eureka if he had Google? I'm not sure. So we started thinking about how we used to search things, right? How we used to, get inspirations for creativity, how we used to walk around, sit in physical material world, right? When all of it's become digital and all of it is searchable and only what you get from these search results, does it inspire us? Does it make us more creative or not? And what can we do about it? So that's the question I started asking myself in the last few years as I've been exploring this direction. if it's not helping us to be more creative, okay, that it took me a while to understand that, and that okay, it's very clear it's not helping us become more creative. What should we do? Should we just let it be? Should we do something about it? The traditional approach of me and others in the room of field research, I would say, was to study what is. So to go around and see what companies are doing. That's field research. You observe, not a fly on the wall, but as close as possible, right? So I've been going to, I can't say how many companies, and they wouldn't let me in with R&D, right? So I would talk and they say, yeah, we're using AI. How? You know, we're using it. It's great. Like we've got like few new medical components, few new. And same with chemicals. So the big companies that are using it now are not so happy to talk to us as field researchers, I have to say. One, thanks to PIM, is LG that we hope, so secretive. So maybe this September, we will know if we're able to get in. And we can only tell you that if you Google Tilda and Fashion Week, you can see what they're doing. And maybe this September, it's like literally this September, and we're still emailing whether they will let us in even to see AI for fashion. But that's how secretive companies are. So maybe I'll have a field research project with them. Who knows? But that's the only company I've been able to get in for 5 years or more of searching. AlphaFold, maybe, you know, it's more open, but it's going to take a long time to go. But there are interesting companies. So anyone here that has the ability to access, I think, go for it. But what do we do if we can't get access as researchers and we think this is important? So another thing is, of course, to build theory, right? We can talk about what we imagine this would happen. I would say, you know, okay, but not as exciting. And the last thing that I started doing, and, you know, some of you may think I've gone native. I think of myself maybe some days this way as well, because initially I would sit in meetings with all these computational creative folks and the HCI researchers, and I would take notes of how they think about, you know, doing computer science for creativity. But slowly, something changed within me. And I said, I think I'm moving to their side. I think I'm done with sitting and waiting for companies. And I think I'm just going to join and start designing tools with them and learn how they do these things, and then suggest them maybe to organizations that are willing to try. You know, so you can think of it as designing field experiments, maybe as intervening action research. Is it allowed to say that word anymore? I think maybe yes. Shaping reality. So for me, I feel it was like crossing a line that I wasn't sure, and I still am debating whether it is correct, but I have to say it's such a fascinating community to engage with, and I'm learning so much. So as long as we're learning, I think, and if we can make something out of it that can also teach others, that it's worth doing. So this is what I'm doing now. And this was also inspired, I have to say, on a personal level by the pandemic, that I felt that we're just sitting and not doing stuff as academics is not enough. So I have to do something about it. If I think the direction the field is going about creativity and innovation is not the right one, maybe we should do something about it. So these computer scientists are doing something about it, right? They're designing constantly, and they're shaping the field. All these data scientists that Kate and Joe just show in they're studying. Maybe we can also do something about it as a community. So if you're interested, join us. I can tell you briefly the type of stuff that we are doing. How many minutes do I have, Kevin? 2 minutes. So I'll tell you 2 different things that I'm doing. One with Ben, we are basically trying to design a different, very not ambitious project, like very, very small goal. We're trying to design a different Google search, right? So we're basically, we're calling it Google XYZ. You know, maybe if someone here is my ICIS reviewer, they've seen this paper. So basically we're trying to say, maybe we can design something that looks like Google, but does something very different. So it's not really searching for relevance. It's actually searching. Our optimization logic is not to have them closer to what you're searching, is actually to bring you far things from what you're searching, right? So diversity, like to diversify. So we're calling it Google XYZ. We hope Google will not sue us. We're trying to design it in a way that looks like Google, for academic purposes only. And we're looking for product design companies to experiment it with once it's ready. The second thing is analogical search, an inspiration engine. And that's something that I've been working on for multiple years related to problem formulation. If you have a problem as a scientist or an engineer, how can you abstract it, right? We know how hard it is. Can we use NLP, GPT-3 with all the US patent database to actually do this decontextualization, abstraction of problems? So not ambitious projects at all, as you can see, but maybe it will work out. And if it doesn't, at least we learned on the way of how computation creativity works, and can it work? Thank you so much.